everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, Bethany and I are working on planting a new cherry tree. She's my little gardener helper. She's been learning all this stuff. I went out last night and I picked up a replacement cherry tree. What is a replacement cherry tree?
A replacement cherry tree is one that hopes another tree, but it doesn't flat.
Well, close. A replacement cherry tree is going to take the place of an old cherry tree. So this is a little cherry tree that I got at Walmart last year, and they were, they didn't have them for a lot of the year. So I don't remember what month I got this and put it on, but I had to redo 2 cherry trees here, and this one also, so 3. And the one that had been here got blight. And this is kind of a low area of the yard. It runs off downhill towards the creek. And they don't really like to have their feet wet a lot. And it wasn't a super wet time of year when I planted it. And it was very dry later on. So I had to bring out, 5-10 gallons buckets of water every single day. So be careful with this. It's very brittle and it will break. So if the store believes that a deer or animals have damaged the tree, that is not covered in the 1-year warranty on your trees. So you want to be careful and take in the root ball, because if, say, a woodchuck or a rabbit or anything chews through the bark and kills it, or chews it right off, I had that happen last year, there's no replacement warranty on that. So sometimes I will leave the tags on them like this. This tree wasn't doing well right from the start, so I just kind of kept watching it die off a little at a time. We are going to plant this one, and this says it is a Montmorency cherry tree, and I don't know if that is sweet. I don't know if that's sweet or sour, so you can let me know in the comments below. Now this year, they were marking the trees. They always have this little thing for fruit or shade tree or flowering. All of them said sweet cherry. This particular one says semi-dwarf Bing. Well, we're more of the fans of the semi-dwarfs and the heritage full-size trees, because then you get these full-size canopies and they look beautiful. They're a little harder to pick over time, but the dwarf cherry trees, they're not going to get much bigger than that. So luckily, I save all my information in a little folder most of the time with the receipt. Photocopy them because that thermal paper does fade over time. But this is a semi-dwarf tree, and it is probably 7 years old. Now these 2 trees, I probably paid about $45 each for them from a garden nursery, because I had planted trees here before that didn't grow, and I said the heck with it, I'm going to pay more money and get a better tree. A lot of them are started at the same places and get sent out, and when I spoke to the man at the nursery, he told me that the actual grower of the tree loses so many trees when they've gone out to nurseries, because like when we did our flowering pear trees over there, they start clearancing them out, and a lot of times that original grower doesn't get paid on his cost of the tree. It's on the sale price of the tree, like on a contract. So, the sale prices can affect the grower. Now, all trees are started from rootstock, grafted on, and so you can see here, this was grafted on at this point. There's a nice fellow that we've found, Waylon's Wires, has a second channel called All About Grafting, so you can learn some information about that. It's very, very informative. So if you're watching, hi, and thank you for all your information in your videos. It is so, so helpful. He's a fan of your Waylon's Wires, and the kids like your banjo music, and I like your grafting. Well, we all like the grafting, but it's a good learning thing for a group of kids who are at home. So we're gonna dig this out, and it's gonna go back to the store, and this one's gonna go in. And you can see the size difference in these trees this year. And for some reason, they even marked it 11/16 inch, showing that that is almost a 1-inch stem. Where this year, previous year, that's, a 1/2 inch or smaller.
And I am as tall as this tree.
Yeah, so this tree is, 4 feet tall. And this tree right here is more like 7 feet. It is a little bit taller than me. So 6.5, 7 feet tall.
So that would mean I am 4 feet tall. Just with your feet, I am just as tall as that.
That's right. Now, the good thing to know is, you know, if you plant trees, I learned a long time ago, it goes back to, you know, Native American ways and things, bury a fish with your tree for fertilizer instead of putting chemicals in. Putting chemicals in, you're losing all your organic practices, and you know what? It will feed off of that deteriorating or wasting fish forever. So scraps, whatever, stick it in there. I don't have any to do that today. My husband also taught me a long time ago, if you put a penny in the ground, an actual copper penny, you could probably even put copper pipe in there, it will make the roots grow out away from that penny so that it will get stronger and bigger. And that flowering pear tree that I have at my old house is huge, and it has done so much more in the time that that tree's been planted than what these have done in half the time. So, you know, I think it really works, but you can look into that. I'm sure arborists can tell you more information about it than I can. We're always learning every day, and some people say, oh, don't do that. You know, the copper's going to poison the ground. There's minerals in the ground anyway, and anything we can do, tips to pass along to help you and help us in our homesteading, it's always good information. Our farm guy, Trey, has already gone through and tedded that entire south field. His dad decided to go ahead and keep cutting a little bit last night, and I didn't know it until the end of the day. So this is how far he went, just a few rows in, clean up the edges. There's some mustard in this field, but not as much. That's just what you get with organic, not anything bad, nothing terrible out of hand. A few years ago, we had mare's tail growing with our sunflowers, and that was something. It was a terrible organic challenge. But as we found, I have referenced it before, Goats Eat Weeds is a really good video, and I believe it was a kind of PBS special documentary that was done, and it talks about the succession of the weeds and what the weeds are doing as far as pulling up nutrients or reaching down and getting nutrients, different things that are going on with the field. So he was just telling me something about the mustard, and of course I was doing other things and wasn't really listening. So it's just interesting to, you know, learn everything you can about, you know, what's going on with your permaculture and horticulture and agriculture. It's just everything is intertwined. This guy is doing a great job. Yeah, there's this guy. He doesn't want to get dressed today. He's got his shoes on. We're going out to go do some measurements and see what's going on our farm today. So today, the kids and I are out looking for mushrooms. So I was saying earlier while we were planting the cherry trees, Bethany wanted to come out and do mushroom hunting with me. So we're out doing a little nature hike and always finding great nature things while we're out here. It's a lot of fun. We like being out here.
Murdoch found this rat trap and it's got something in it.
Yeah.
Sick!
Yeah.
You can just leave that up on the bank or something. Don't put that in my bucket.
Oh, I accidentally said it.
Step on it. Step on it and make it shut.
I got rocks right here. That's a pretty strong deal.
Yeah, it is.
It broke the bones that were in there.
This little creek that goes through this area of the woods winds this way and that, and one side of it's ours, one side of it's the neighbors. Hopefully someday I'll be able to buy all of this behind me. But right here in the middle, it's all ours. It's beautiful. So we're out here just enjoying ourselves. Just listen to this creek. It is so beautiful. That's the reason I was so happy to find this place. It's just beautiful. I remember getting the call saying that we were approved from the bank to have our mortgage for this farm. which is just unheard of for people who aren't already in farming to get a loan for 120 acres to farm. But, you know, we live frugally, and we were living frugally a long time before we had this. Plus we had the rental properties and had income from that. So things were a lot better in those times. So, you know, we had income to be able to make the payments for everything. And now it's nice to be able to do our farming. And Dad and Trey are up in the fields working, doing their hay right now. And it's just a wonderful, beautiful day for everybody. And I just can't be in a happier place than I am right now. This is why it's important when you own property to go walking around out in your woods. So my husband and I were out here collecting maple sap, and this is on the opposite side of the creek, so I'm on the neighbor's property right now. I wanted to check this out because I saw this here, and it's not any kind of hunting season, so I just announced myself before I crossed over to see if anybody was up here. But there is a whole like shelter built. This isn't just something that was put up in a day. Somebody really intended to do this. They really took their time building it. It's pretty neat. But I noticed, and I'll have to talk to him about it, because they have a little firewood thing going here. They cut down live ironwood trees, which they're really vital to our woods, but you just don't want somebody not being where they're supposed to be, living out in your woods. So, you know, my kids come out here on their bikes, they go walking around. They've got a nice fishing spot just down that way, and I'm probably 25 feet, maybe 30 feet over the property line right now. So we just want to make sure that anybody, you know, camped out here, the deer come down here to drink into this low spot. And I've mentioned before about the lack of rain we've been having, that it was a mild winter, so there wasn't a lot of snow melting. This creek area, this is a creek bed right here, would go from way over there to here. And right now, see, you can see, and here's where it's, you know, I can tell like how long, this isn't bright. This has been a while now. So they've been cutting these trees here along this bank edge, and you know, there's downed firewood everywhere, to not have to go cutting for live firewood. I think the ironwood is a good burner, but we tend to not take it unless it's already down. So let's go over and go see the creek. I've been finding lots of goodies out in the woods, but I'm not finding mushrooms today. I found some nice ferns. Isn't that beautiful? I think I'm going to press that. I found a nice old like sarsaparilla bottle, but this stuff is just so pretty. That's the nice thing about owning your own land versus like going out on state land where they say don't take anything. We can press these and make projects out of them. So I'll take that sarsaparilla bottle that I found right there. I've been picking up some garbage. I found another one of these a while ago. It says no deposit, no return, not to be refunded. And there's a 14.8 or a 14B on the bottom. Probably 14 ounces maybe. So this is my little basket of finds. We were hoping to find some mushrooms, but we just haven't gotten that lucky yet today. I am always super happy to go walking in the woods and see things. But to come over here and see how tremendously low this water is, you don't know with the hay cutting and farming how your season's gonna go. And I would imagine with a slow growing summer, I'm gonna be house painting woman. Careful of his arm. All the way over to that tree over there and beyond. It kind of forks right here. What? Okay. But just a beautiful creek through here. It's just a nice place, and I couldn't imagine why anybody would want to be anywhere else, and that's why that person is camping out down here. They're probably hanging out, hunting, and decided to stay a while. Found some moss.
Yeah,
All right, well, there's the low water line right now. You can see where it kind of goes uphill gradually to where Jack is there. See how low that is right there? Not much water at all. And then it turns again and goes back that way. And just beyond over there is the river. That's it for our walk in the woods. We're headed back to the house to go have some grilled cheese sandwiches and some tomato soup. So I'll join you back at the cherry tree in a little bit and I'll show you how the planting went. As usual. Yeah. As usual, my battery is weak and it died mid-filming discussing how to plant a cherry tree. We've done it before, you get the idea.